Because when they let you go, you still had heat and all that.
Well, it was literally pulled the rug out from underneath me because I went from like, this billion-dollar commodity, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this business, just like on the street, nothing. And wasn't like I was making like what the guys were making. Like I had this future and I was set. I still had to work and I was still under contract and they were giving me trouble with the name and the likeness and
What was the
not to
reason?
mention just the pain
Yeah.
of everything.
No, we'll get there.
that
But
was
what was the
happening.
reason they gave you that, they let you go? They had
They
to give
never
you
gave me a reason.
That's some shady shit.
There was never a reason.
your contract happened to be up, and they decided, we're not going to renew this.
There was never a reason. The last thing Vince said to me was blood was thicker than water, and that he'd be in touch with me. And then
You
the
got
following
fucked up.
week, I went home. I was sitting in a Jerry's Deli eating lunch, and a fax mysteriously went to Jerry's Deli, and it was from the WWE, and they said they wouldn't be needing me anymore.
What?
But
After what you gave them.
To Jerry's
And that
Deli?
was
How
it.
do you get a fax to Jerry's Deli?
And how did they know you were there? That's creepy
Exactly.
shit.
Well, let me ask you. You said at one point that Triple H hit you, and he said he didn't. Did you say that before or after the facts? Like, were you saying that before you left wrestling, and maybe was that one of the reasons? They're like, oh, she's stirring up too much trouble, or did you allow that to be known after?
no, I just recently let that be known
Oh,
because
okay.
the reality of it is that I had a great relationship with Hunter. I was in love with him very much, and near the end of the relationship, when I didn't know that they were having this year affair going on, it was troubled. It was troubled at work and it was troubled in our personal relationship. So, I didn't know what was going on. I was just sticking by my man, But when it all was said and done, when they let me go, I decided at that moment that I was in a serious situation and that the fans weren't going to know what was going on and that I couldn't go out there I wasn't capable mentally to go out there and fight. I didn't want to fight, and I knew what I was up against. So I just figured I would take the high road and just never say anything,
How did you
And
find
then
out that? Sorry, to
that
interrupt.
and Lou people would see that and Lou would, allow me to make a lateral move into something else.
How'd you
whatever.
find out he was cheating? How'd you catch him?
I found a note, actually. Yeah, I found a note.
Like a written note?
A written note
What did it say?
from Stephanie from Date of the Year, like tucked away in his briefcase.
What the note
Yeah,
say?
what was in the note?
Just a note from her saying, how much she loved him, and she was on the airplane or something, writing him a love note, and the date was dated like a year beforehand, so that's how I knew.
Now, was she
And
wrestling
that was
back
my
then?
only proof because I was at that point I was finally getting ready to say, okay, I got to leave the relationship after
Right.
this incident happened because that's kind of a deal breaker for me,
Yeah.
And then, but I knew like when I was leaving that there was just something that wasn't right, so I did the old snoop-a-doop.
Women.
Yep. And I did it good. I mean, I cleaned out the entire house and I found, the proof.